Like a deftly cast fishing net, sleep pulls you out of the world and into its dark shore. The rough mesh chafes, tightening around you, it digs into your brain.
How have things been going for you out there? Helped anyone lately? Saved anyone lately? Because you know you are a murderer. A disco music listening psycho killer who offs poor people and then forgets about it.
Hear that? Iceman wants to sleep. He doesn't care about killing people. That's nothing to him. Black water under the bridge is much, much worse than that.
Don't tell him, sister.
They're right. This is their function. To keep you from it.
We're trying to help you. All these processes, these tortures, voices and tremors are all just distractions, flares and
The last dream will be total annihilation. Cinders peeling off the fuselage.
in hell. An ancient sadness, brother. 10,000 years later, in front of the video rental, there is a warm breath on your face again.
Everything is so okay. Your eyelids flutter open for a moment. When you close them again, you sense the light of the room around you. You're back.
The last thought in your head before waking is, on the table, you see a...
Yes? What do you want to know? Good. You see, a slogan used to intertwine with the loop above the mirror, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls, that are Fell Electrical. You only know them as a small company that makes ink. There's something in the wind. Sometimes
In there? She could. Or she could be in the identical room over there, or in that boat shack.
even though you're sure you succeeded, all is quiet. There is no cold hand brushing against your forehead, no rustle in the reeds. Trying to talk to the wind, the city, a prayer of sorts.
How do we? She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. We already scanned most of the outdoor areas on our wild creep. And then there's the church. We've already searched that and Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter.
Walk the coast, an adventure awaits. And buckle up and raise your collar. This search is going to be wet and cold. Indeed, somehow you knew it was here. You felt it before, when it rained in Martinez. Suddenly, there's a sigh, carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath, in through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the stairs, and then the beach below the boardwalk.
She's down there.
Okay, why? So, how do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building. They're gone, basically.
Finally, my time to shine.
Because I hope you didn't mean to climb the ladder.
There has to be a way to use brute. An old pipe peeks out from beneath the rotten boards of the building. Like this must have. Your eyes slowly begin to adjust. The lieutenant looks over your shoulder.
Given that this isn't a martial arts thriller, it's highly unlikely, and not without risk to our health either. However, the pipe suggests there may be an entrance to the basement around.
He means the pipe must be coming from somewhere in.
And it's right here, a maintenance door.
Oh yeah, big boy time. This needs you to put your back into it. Behind the pipe, the maintenance door, rusted shut and half sunken in sand. An ordinary as your eyes adjust. And nothing. Broken glass. You and the lieutenant. Making rust hurts your palms, but together with the lieutenant, you manage to slide them open just enough to squeeze in.
Good work. Shall we?
This isn't just glass. Yes, filament memories. From the
So it is. I think it is used to form a single system, slotted in the wall.
The how was a closely guarded secret. Something that was locked in safes in human heads across the...
The rest of the building seems to have been picked clean. These? No. These are old filament memories. I hope you're not expecting to find that
All you'll find here. A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. Years' worth of dust is shaken off. Someone crouches, heels digging into wet sand.
some radical or radicals were hiding out here. They left a long time ago. We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is.
Good hiding place for someone who's up to no good.
Half a century? This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards. I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's so millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. You mean like Ruby? No.
Could this have been the killer's hideout? And this narrow window, the point, this does look like an embrasure, a slit made for shooting out of. Outside the window, the day is clear.
It's a great place to hide, and Mazovianism and murder are certainly not mutually exclusive. Indeed, no one could get a clear view. Well, in fact, I think we're done with this bunker.
There it is again.
No, what do you mean? I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and looks like our suspect. Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do. We'll set...
Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
I leave that to your judgment.
He just can't be sure. Maybe it will yield something.
I still don't think that was a good idea.
Someone's been a very busy boy. Good on you.
You mean Morel?
If it gets that tense, the amateur zoologist might not be able to...
Well,
If you can't predict it,
I think I see a cavern.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been...
Or maybe not.
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, it's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse. Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping...
As she says the word officer, you feel a spike in the agony. It sounds like the entire radio frequency range is screaming directly into your new... That's an awful decision. Why would you not want to shield yourself from it? Don't focus on the pain. Focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest.
I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
The explosion of static you're hearing is blasted from that pale emitter that angers me.
Saw my equations? You've been sniffing through my lorry, right? I expected as much. A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale. Literally crunch the distance across. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
So, what we are experiencing is a constant...
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequency at the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specific to pale. It's the end of the world. I built it myself.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented, but we are beyond that.
Oh yeah, way beyond. Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker. No. Once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself, though. It's a bit like waking out of a very Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting. If you've got something really important to say, you can...
Turn this...
God damn it. Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
The gun she's carrying is a 2-barreled front loader. Not like the... Well, it doesn't feel much better, but you can form sentences now. There's only 3 meters between you and the machine. If you keep her distracted, be careful when you make your move. That'll be it for questions. Bide your time.
No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching. Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first. Oh, I knew the kitten had claws, but not like... But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me?
Titus and his boys, man. They told us you were on the coast.
Well, fuck. Those guys liked me, I know it. But this is...
A dour despair is creeping into her voice.
How the fuck did the rest of you get by? What shit? I told you I didn't do it. Sounds pretty simple to me. And? Sure don't.
The breech loader?
No.
This is such a wipeout.
The gun store. Trigger Happy Jacks. What did you think? That I'm going to squeal on my gun supply? A knocked away AD front loader. 2-barreled. Not really what you were looking for, I'm guessing.
That isn't...
That Merc was probably shot from a distance with a military grade.
No, they're not practical. Break too often. Yeah, evidence. Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope you mean the length of a toilet break? That wouldn't even have been enough time. Wow, now I'm curious. Please, explain. No, not since I was 14 and hanging out in the only diner in Dardenne. Why? Yeah, and probably some ghosts from the time of the suzerain. I'm not really interested in supernatural mysteries. The fuck do elevators have? Not particularly. Why are you so hung up on elevators? I'm not really into old shit for—
God damn it!
Don't know it, but also,
Evaluating your competence as a police officer.
the shot couldn't have come from the roof, or we would have all heard it downstairs.
She has a point there. No one mentioned.
That didn't go super well. You've got to lay something better on her.
Who doesn't? Oh, you probably mean Claudia's rooftop. Sure, I've hung out there. It's very powerful. I used it to tune into RCM frequencies. That's... The view's pretty bomb, too. But you might say the antenna was the... Yes, I'm sure. And I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't particularly likable types. Yeah, sure. And I didn't like Wild Pines sending in those foreign hirelings. I'm listening. No. Gifts of flowers and candy aren't really my style. So now I'm leaving revolutionary symbols around? I never did understand why, when someone dies, a hothouse's worth of flowers has to die too. No, I did not. So, Heart of Gold Tommy fucked me over too. Never trust a musician. Okay, great. You got into my lorry on your own. What now? You're going to arrest me for drug trafficking? Man, it's to get away from all that murderous shit that I left Jamrock, my previous employer. I got lucky being a dispatcher. Never had to do any of the really dirty work myself. Based on what I've heard about you, you are serious scum. Yeah? Where?
More questions before doing anything.
I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a... So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised. So nice. That's one knife I didn't want to find in my back. I was, before I caught you in the pale latitude compressor. How should I know? As I keep saying, he already had a bullet in his head when I got to him, and there hasn't been any useful...
Those rings around her eyes, her tired voice. She's been staying up late, listening in on the conversations crisscrossing Martinez.
Police radio? You've been following the case?
Who hasn't? You know, I can still see him there, in Claudia's room. He was still warm, but the bluish light coming through the broken window made him look... I saw you roll into town. I wasn't about to stick around for questioning by a guy.
So this is what she was scared to tell Titan.
Yes, you. Everyone says you're his peon, his human cannon.
Through the sudden sharp pain in your head, you hear the lieutenant. Fucking hell. And why me? It's especially bad suddenly. Felt like a vein exploded.
Oh yes, they do. The cops, the criminals. Why do you think I'm holed up in here with a goddamn death ray waiting?
If she knows that about you, she must know your real name too.
Harry Dubois. One corrupt motherfucker with a disco pants and a funny tie.
So she knows your name. That doesn't mean you're on the tape. Criminals make up.
Is that a joke or a threat? I'm guessing both. Yeah, sure.
She doesn't believe you.
I'm sure La Puta Madre himself will explain it all.
A man in a white suit walks through a garden coaxed from soil that had once been covered in asphalt. A city block closed off from the rest of the city by dark rows and rows of poppies, most of which have lost their pink bloom. Taking out a knife, he crouches at the end of one flower bed. He scores a seapod very gently.
You've been to my lorry. You think the biggest player in Jamrock appreciates competition? And now I have Harry Kemp.
She's not going to change her mind that easily. She still perceives you as a threat.
What bunker? Don't know anything about it. No one's been around since I set up camp, but I'm sure I'm not the first vagabond to...
Keep calm. Breathe in. After the pain recedes, it's a little. She eyes you. Where?
It's okay. We just want to...
All right, don't kill yourself over it. I was shooting the shit with Hardy and the boys over a few beers, like always. Then Klasha comes in, all pale, and she sits down with a drink, trying to steady her nerves. So I grab a seat next to her. Oh yeah, super. But I didn't...
This woman has seen people OD. Glacia wasn't quite there yet. So why worry?
She asked me to come upstairs. The merc she'd been going with was lying on the bedroom floor, dead. I knew she couldn't get the authorities involved.
You made it look like he'd been hanged.
What? No. Faking a lynching was her idea. Yeah, in cold blood. It really surprised me how quickly she was able to get a hold of herself once we got up there. It was like she was another person. The party girl was gone. She asked me to help her drag him into the shower so she could wind the shower head around his neck to fake lividity. Then she dressed him while I went to get the Hardy boys.
Glacia knew exactly what she was doing. You can't remain calm under pressure otherwise.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether to admire her or be disturbed. As I keep telling you cops, we didn't hear anything downstairs.
But even if this is true, weren't you worried the lynching might lead to...
War? The thought crossed my mind. But the mercenaries definitely... Fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people after what they did to me. Glad to have been of assistance. Best...
The woman runs past you and disappears into the darkness of the tunnel.
All things considered, it could have gone worse. Now we have to come up with a really good excuse for why we walked right into a trap like that. Her tent. Maybe there's something.
Plain red tent stands by dispassionately. It was pitched by practiced hands. She's used. The tent looks old, but well maintained. In the darkness of the tent, it reeks of cigarettes. Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp horror. A motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover. On another, a ghost airship. You also see a collection of Radio Enthusiast magazine.
See anything?
Rager Monthly, Journal of Material Science. More Technological Digest. One of the magazines. You pocket the worn brown leather journal. A trusted friend left behind.
We should read this immediately.
Thick journal. It's made of full-grain leather. The journal falls open. About 2/3 the large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently. It's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams.
It's good she left in a hurry. We could learn a lot from...
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code. Looks like contact information, quantities.
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my
Esoteric radio technology. The most recent one, short wry observations of people and places. Probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also, what appears to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are the first entry, is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though, well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. Loyal to a fault. Except, you have no idea what she means. That name isn't mentioned.
What about this M?
Great. M's peon is coming to town, no doubt to investigate the lynching. But also, I feel it in my gut to finally put a bullet in my head while I'm napping in my lorry or on a smoke break. Well, I won't stick around just to twist my own neck by constantly looking over. Then again, isn't that what I've been doing ever since I got the call? The call? Did M call her personally? Were you supposed to find her, even apart from the investigation then? On M's request? No, you wouldn't do something like this. The thought steadies your nerves. The journal's been holed up here for 3 days now. I'm used to being alone and all, but I don't know when I'll be able to leave, or if I'll be ratted out. They will rat me out, of course. I've made it a point to believe in the best in people. The boys, for example. Did M feel truly betrayed by me? I was feeling threatened. He'd have to know if he threatened people. The entry ends abruptly. The most recent entry is from even when I leave here, if I leave here alive. What's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run. Not really my idea.
It looks like she might have been framed.
That would be a first, or a fourth. But who's counting? He thinks. Very rarely does anyone actually get framed.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that. Besides, I'm not sure her life as a fugitive is going to be much better than Ouida's. Could have been Titus. Then again... Maybe there's a Hardy boy we've yet to meet. One thing is for certain.
These are some wonderfully regular patterns. You're a little more makes sense. This is what we're...
all out of shits to give, loincloth. Welcome to the fucking reckoning.
Put your damn gun down. People are gonna get hurt. We need to...
Shut up! You're not gonna talk yourself out of this, loincloth shit.
This is the mercenary at the gates. His chest rises and falls under the ceramic breastplate. There's something very wrong with it.
Shh.
This is a misunderstanding. Nothing irreversible has happened yet. You can just return to your unit and forget all about this.
The Kypt is merciful, willing to spare us if we just forget about our murdered and humiliated commander. I think...
You are all drunk. Come to your senses. You won't gun down 7 people in the middle of the street. This isn't a frontier town or a jungle outpost.
Easy, Lizzie. Let me handle it. I know guys like this. I'm sure we can come to a peaceful agreement.
Peaceful?
Nest in your abdominal cavity. Stop. You are prepared. The barrels of your Villiers...
Yes, I hear.
Good.
I'm all out of shits to give, loincloth. Welcome to the fucking wreck.
Put your damn gun down.
Shut up! You're not gonna talk yourself out of this.
This is the mercenary at the gates. There's something very...
Shh.
This is a misunderstanding. Nothing irreversible has happened.
The Kypt is merciful, willing to spare us if we just forget about our murdered and humiliated commander.
You are all drunk. Come to your senses. You won't gun down 7 people in the middle of the street.
Easy, Lizzie. Let me handle it. I know guys like this. I'm sure we can come to a peaceful agreement.
Peaceful?
Nest in your abdominal cavity like a little wild mouse. The masked man's words are barely intelligible.
Fuck, there's a third one. How did we miss something like this?
This third one, he is the most dangerous of them all, heavily armed. The lieutenant is genuinely worried for his life.
The mercenary tribunal. My plan is not to get killed, but we have to intervene. If this turns into a firefight, we should take him out first.
Get lost, comedian. You cops had your chance. Now it's fucking time for some justice.
Pig fuck!
Oh, people are gonna die today. We're not leaving it like this. These tribals hung him up for everyone to see.
No one is going to kill anyone. Let's just put the guns down and talk like civilized human beings.
With a wordless gurgle, the killer loads his long rifle. The leader gives a small nod to the helmeted man. Shoot him in the mouth. Shoot him before he shoots you. No, wait. It's good you have that gun. It really is. Just soften him up first. I'm barely keeping you together here. This is it. The peace. Always peace. It has worked thus far.
You think I care what that company cunt thinks?
The man stares at you with bloodshot eyes, a bull ready to charge. He's not listening, but looking for an opening. Now is not a good time to strike. He's looking right at your hands.
She's fucking gone! She fucking sailed off. You're alone.
Stay cool! Don't do anything stupid!
The company bitch is gone. Laylee's gone. Fuck are we still doing in this shithole?
Guys,
Hold your ground. Any more of you run, I'll shoot you myself. We're doing this together.
Rude. Rude is the killer. Rude, the killer. Owen Cloven. He done
All of you cunts inside out.
The gunner. The raddest. The killer. What do you think he...
There, on the rim of Owen Cloven's helmet, you count little stick figures. 19, 20.
Huh?
What are we waiting for? Let's blow that pig fucking mouth off his...
Lance Corporal! Just fucking shut up and wait for your order. Who the fuck is that?
Glacia, the woman upstairs. Where is she?
she left.
Unarmed, hunched, but keeping it together.
She left. Her room's cleaned out. Right before these assholes showed up.
We should have arrested her.
You can feel how upset he is with himself.
Hey, Bushman! Your little cunt isn't gonna help you out of this!
She's gone. Forget about it now. For God's sake, tell him the Hardys didn't do it. Present a case.
Yeah? Who did that? How fucking convenient.
His fingers are twitching. That's a draw reflex. He's about to draw.
You think I'm fucking stupid, cop? What if I just shot one of your pals here, right? How about the kid? Tell me, it's a magic fucking sniper one more time.
Listen, please. This cop and this drumhead cop marshal won't decide who...
Your mind grinds to a halt. All you can see is the revolver and the man is... The shot rings in your ears. A low, tinny...
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I can never tell with these aborigines.
Fuck this.
There's a coarse shuffle against something.
Gene! Cancel Lizzie! Now!
He'll be ripped apart. They all will. The moment the third man opens fire. And he knows it. Dangerous. Ask about him first. You don't want personal facts about his dead friend coming out of your mouth. He...
Sergeant Major Raoul Cortiner, reporting in to burn this fucking mud hut to the ground.
As he moves, the interlocking pieces of his armor click.
For killing, maiming, and humiliating our commanding officer. You're all sentenced to death by lead. Baby blue, yeah. Like someone fucked up and put a baby's eyes on a grown man. It was creepy, but bitches like that shit, I guess. Or, I don't know what bitches like. I just know how to mow down. Fuck do you mean?
We've heard testimony. People say he was charismatic, a nice guy to be around.
Yeah, he liked to chat up the natives. Share leaflets, squeeze a bit of kid tass here and there. If Laylee was here, he would spare the lot of you. Maybe shoot one for sure. But me...
ready to open fire.
This one isn't used to being suited this long. She's uncomfortable. We'll open fire just to hurry.
Find his killer. Cop, his killers stand right there. shitting their pants, and you...
They didn't...
Shush, sister. Blood's all gone out now. Not long to go.
This did nothing. Dangerous. Ask about him first. You don't.
Sergeant Major Raoul Cortiner, reporting in to burn...
As he moves, the interlocking pieces of his armor...
For killing, maiming, and humiliating our command... Fuck do you mean?
We've heard testimony. People say he was charismatic. A nice guy to be a...
Yeah. He liked to chat up the natives. Share leaflets. Squeeze a bit of kit-tass here. If Laylee was here, he would spare the lot of you. Maybe shoot one.
Ready to open fire, Major.
This one isn't used to being suited this...
Baby blue, yeah. Like someone fucked up and put a baby's eyes on a grown man. It was creepy. Find his killer. Cop, I know what this tactic is, Silo Sam.
This did nothing. You think you were onto something? You just waste... Alright, here we go. This is an illegal tribunal. Krenner would never sanction this. You only have time for one argument. Choose wisely.
What always happens when you get good at your job? That name Midnight Raids. Fucking extrajudicial funky time. Burn villages. Shit. It sounds bad on the big. The same thing happened when we were called whatever the fuck it was. Probably won't be called Crenell for much longer, either. Not after this.
Okay, it's not much. But he's thinking about something else. And his hand is off the... Easy now. Tell them these men didn't do it. There's a peaceful way out. A plume of smoke and fire erupts from the gun, and your hand goes... There is a hole in his cheek. Blood gushes out as he stumbles backward, eyes filled with rage and disbelief. His lips, moving, swollen with fear, are trying to say, shoot him, but he can't. To your right, the killer raises his rifle and takes aim at you. You leap left. A swarm of enemy passes mere millimeters from your side, tearing fabric off your coat. Feels like the lightest of tucks. The man tilts his head, trying to see through the clearing smoke. Watch out! To your left, DePaul is about to take a shot too.
God, please.
He's aiming for the eye slot in Rude's helmet. 2 shots ring at once. One from the lieutenant's pistol, and the other from DePaul's. It's aimed at the blood gushes from the helmet's eye sockets as Rude staggers back, disoriented. The sounds coming from his helmet are not human. An unbelievable shot from the lieutenant. Glenn, dying in a puddle of blood behind you. His mangled torso has 2 gunshot wounds. Blood gushes out of them like red geysers. Oh God, watch out. You see 2 crazed eyes stare at you through all the smoke and the panic. With blood gushing from his face, the man raises his pistol at you. Then he squeezes the trigger. The look of vengeance, framed in blood, lips. Here it comes. Death. You can't. There is no time. So the pain is too immense to scream. It pushes the air out of your lungs. Nothing. A persisting darkness. Dancing lights of pain.
You're bleeding out. Stay with me. Keep talking. You hear me? Stay awake.
But you can't. It's so hard. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the sounds ever more distant. A slender white shadow towering. Someone stands there, raising her pistol at him. Scream immediately. He's gonna die. No, you say, and hand out your firearm to him. Your hand trembles, and your eyes are full of fear. That's all it takes. There is no room for hesitation. The lieutenant moves like a spring unloaded. He grabs the gun from you hear a faint scream, a woman's. Then the sound.
This is death. One more door, baby. One more door.
The fight? There is no fight. The fight is over. It was lost. He's not taking it. His body is not taking it. Oh God, no. He's not disintegrating and rotting and being disinfected and smelling of drugs and feeling saliva in his mouth. Drifting in painkiller.
He can't go. Not before the case is solved. There was a radio in the distance. A radio of the world. Playing sounds.
Hours turn to days. Soon we will get up again and go through it again. Finally we know what the infernal engine was outside. It was him. He is the infernal engine. He never stops. He only gets worse.
You see the lieutenant's familiar shape in the orange jacket. It turns double, then triple, from the pain.
Sunrise, Arabellum. Yes, the joke wasn't funny anymore. I took it off. What happened? You shot the major in the face. A firefight ensued. Yes.
A blood-stained killer.
As retaliation, the rifleman tried shooting you. He missed, or you dodged. Then I shot and wounded him, while Glenn took a bullet in the spine. It was meant for me. Glenn did not survive.
This is not the first person to die in his place.
Titus, Fat Angus, and Theo charged. Angus and Theo did not make it. They both died before they made it to intensive care. Titus survives. So do Alain and the musician. I forget his name. Yes, he's still alive too. You were bleeding out by then. I think you said something about your wife, and you warned me. I was able to disarm one of them, the Pole, before she got a jump on me. I killed her. And that's what happened. The Pole was the last to die. Everhart had their bodies returned to Crenel for a funeral. The company is yet to retaliate. Because we deterred them? Or Joyce did? Maybe the harbor in full lockdown is too costly a target. Or maybe they are simply taking their time and will attack soon. I don't know. 4. Glenn, Theo, Shanky, and Angus. The fat one, he took a lot of bullets. This is the one. All. Let's face it, officer, and this is both of our fault. It could have gone a little better. 6 people are dead. But what's done is done. The violence is cordoned off. The Hornets did not get into the beehive. The worst scenario has not materialized. Yet. And we are still alive.
He did not expect you both to survive once you stepped between those two armies. His smoking, his hunched back. You have it worse, but he...
Mr. Gart cleaned it. It took him an entire day. 2 days, in and out. You've been up enough to take Dramamine and curse. And drink water. Reasonably bad. You were shot in the left quadriceps. That's your thigh. The outer side, thankfully, no major arteries were nicked. The bullet was removed and a bacterial infection treated with mercurochrome. We will see.
If it's possible, then by pure willpower alone, you are going to have to become a psycho-loco.
Not very. I have a concussion from that woman beating me with the butt of her gun. I tried to not move too much. Things would be worse if you didn't warn me. Thank you. No. I called your station after the fight. The injury was logged in. They told me they've sent officers to join you on the site. I'm sure they're worried about you. Easy now.
Your balance is way off. You feel like you're about to fall over on that thing.
How are you?
He nods.
I honestly don't know. Do you? Because we can't talk to Evrard. The harbor's in lockdown. Everyone in there is outside our grasp now. Joyce has left too, thanks to our meddling. I don't know what to think. It might not have been a bad idea. There is a pin somewhere in the machine. Something is keeping Connell from sending in a death squad. Maybe it's her. Maybe she kept her hand. Either way, Ruby's gone, and Claudia too. We really should have arrested her, you know? That was our job to find out, wasn't it? Honestly, I just don't know. Our circle of suspects is dead and gone. Honestly, I think our investigation has not produced a single credible suspect. I don't know. That's been there for years. Yes, God cursed the footprints, not solving the case for us. Au diable. We should go upstairs, rethink the ballistics in situ. I agree with this.
See? There's that.
What? Every piece of garbage in the city is not connected to the case.
He's wrong.
Okay. It's extremely easy. There are thousands lying around. We found one. All completely unusable. It's precisely how easy it is to find one that makes the bullet useless. We could find thousands more if we wanted. All of Revachol is full.
But they seemed so mysterious.
No need to be melodramatic. I'm afraid we may not be able to locate communism, Detective, on account of it being dead.
A nod. He arches his brow. The ceiling fan patiently spins overhead.
Really? Because to me, it seems solving crimes is...
That concussion must be making him dizzy.
No. Are you ready to limp? Good.
A gust of wind blows in from the bay. The duraluminum box around you vibrates imperceptibly. A familiar cold.
Why not? Another look at the window, perhaps?
Next to the stack of bills, you see a note. A few lines jotted down in large, uneven handwriting. Just, I'm sorry, I fucked everyone over. P.S. I didn't kill him.
A gift. I am not drawing my gun, yet, but I don't like gifts.
He says he's not, but his hand moves instinctively toward his holster. Relax. Not everyone.
It's hardly surprising.
The medicine cabinet. Pity.
Mm-hmm.
You see the same two neon-lit shapes.
This is ballistics. She's left a tragic...
A ray of backward motion explodes. It suggests the bullet came from the extreme upper quadrant of possible angles, from a point beyond the roof. B triple prime, the island in the bay.
Unless she thinks the perpetrator was standing on the ring antenna. That is where the thread seems to point. She was there that night. She would have known precisely where the bullet hole was in the glass.
She had a long time to think about it after, standing on that roof, staring at the glass.
It also looks like there may be more to her skill set than we know. The question is, should we trust her? I find that hard to believe, but at this point, what difference does it make? So it is.
For a second he seems tired.
Of course. How do we get there? Joyce Messier had her sloop, but she's gone. Ah, yes, of course. The village.
Over there, and not just any pinball machine.
The pinball machine? Go.
Oh, it's more than just a classic.
A little.
Feels like a lot.
Ah, great.
Cornelius Gordy and the Mountain Goats. Reads, get the game on, Fingerboy. Those flippers are ready. It takes a while to get into a rhythm, but pretty soon you're able to keep go, Finger.
I feel sorry for the gods. If they only knew the kind of guy old Cornelius really was. The kind of a guy who uses the word savages a lot. An avid huntsman too. He was often photographed in his dining hall, surrounded by wall-mounted hunting trophies. He also hit his wife and kids. Oh, but you seem to be having fun.
Seeing you approach, the bruised man raises his bear.
Crazy motherfucker. Didn't think you had that fury in you, but I guess I've misjudged a lot of people lately. That was one hell of a shot. Hell of a shot. The fucks did not expect that. But I guess what I'm trying to say here is, thank you for intervening, fellas. That was mighty brave of you. Now, how can I help you? Theo was old. I think he'd be pretty happy with the way he went. Never could imagine him withering away on a sickbed. But Angus, he was just a stupid kid. Didn't realize the mess he'd gotten into. Trusted me. Still, the balls on that kid. Went down fighting.
Here it comes. The last one is the worst one. An honest tactic.
And Glenn. Glenn was my friend. Best I've ever had. I'd love that crazy homo like my own brother. We're all fucked without him. But what do? This job is shit. Well, yeah. Memento mori. Right.
Absolutely. Today, I'm going to get drunk, eat good food, and bed a good-looking girl. 'Cause tomorrow, I'm
Or you might die of a heart failure. Or syphilis.
Hey. Fuck you for ruining a beautiful idea.
I guess I'll take a closer look at our union members. There's bound to be some ambitious fellows there who'd love nothing more than advancing social democracy. Might even ask Tibbs if he's tired of replacing windows. Don't know, don't care. I'll be glad if I...
Even after all that hell, he's still bitter about her?
Nope.
He did. He nods and takes another sip of...
Judging by the sight of you, I'd suggest crawling into bed with a bottle of whiskey in one hand and a big tit in the other.
Yeah, go pay Monica a visit in Jamrock. She's got a knack for making men forget about their worries.
Hell, you both look like you could use some feminine company.
Thank you for your advice.
You're welcome, Bina Claude. You all take care, coppers. You two look after yourselves.
Copo Loco.
Thanks for getting involved, guys.
And if you ever feel like the uniform is holding you back...
Hi again, Gendarme. Bye-bye, Gendarme.
Oh, you're up. It's good to see you back on your feet. Did you like your room? I cleaned it for you. You're welcome. I thought it would be nice for you to wake up in a clean place after you, let's be fair, defended this establishment and its clientele from gunfire. I give credit where credit is due, and that, sir, was a nice shot. I was watching until you hit him. Crawled inside then. Bullets started flying.
He really wants you to realize that he was also on the balcony looking by, in the danger zone.
I wish you a quick recovery. Also, you and your partner are staying here free now. Oh, you know, people don't tend to stick around after them. Nice people, but no. Lena said they were going back to Jamrock. I'm glad she got out of here before all that. Yes, you know, and I went outside and took care of it.
He's almost completely forgotten what this began with.
I mean, you're a detective. Perhaps you can...
Exactly, but all in due time. Crypto business.
You'll see her again one day.
Oh, fine, hero cop. Lena left a forwarding address. 1113 Tabernacle Road in Jamrock. If you see them again, do give them my best. I don't remember everyone who comes here. Where was I? How do you think I...
That's actually true. You remember him.
So, yeah.
It really took courage. Don't pick at him.
Yeah, I don't know. Clients were panicking. And also, I guess I sort of found out that I don't give a shit if I die.
He means it.
No problem. They'll...
Shit, pig! Kuno hopes you learned your lesson and Kuno doesn't have to send his guys after you again. Now, what you want from Kuno? Yeah? Kuno took the bugs, so what?
So it wasn't the Phasmid. A wave of disappointment washes over you.
They're not pets. Don't you know what locusts are? When they come out of the fucking sky. Fucking descendants.
Stop!
You stop. It's like they're fucking night. Locust City, night.
The girl forces herself to watch.
Kuno, the pig wants to help you. Oh, that's how lame it is.
An artist. Maybe I am an artist.
Did he just say I? Kuno usually calls Kuno, Kuno.
Oh my god, Kuno! He's gonna make you totally lame in, like, 3 seconds.
Yo, fuck you, see? Kuno can be what Kuno wants to be. Kuno's his own man. Kuno's free. Kuno made himself into Kuno. Kuno can make himself into anything. Kuno can make himself into a pig if he wants.
Don't make yourself into a pig, Kuno. You'll have to take me away.
In it, you hear snow melting, dripping from the east. So that's what this is about. Without a word, she disappears entirely. For once, the boy is lost for words. He turns completely red now, with splotches of white beginning. You got him. Now convince him to leave the cryptozoologist's traps alone.
I don't give a shit. I don't need the locusts anyway. Shit is all lame now.
The girl's face appears again, above the fence, just long enough to make eye contact with Kuno.
Kuno's gonna let the fucking locusts die. The fuck are they trying to catch anyway? With the traps? Yeah, whatever. Kuno saw you wield that can. Sweet graffito action, pig. Kuno likes that delinquent shit. You're still a dink. Now what's your case with Kuno? The fuck do you want with it? Good call, Pigmeister. Watch out, pig. Who knows?
The tracks are as they have ever been. A bit more worn, perhaps. The graffito has been painted over the traces of the fight that took place here. It smells of blood and heavy fuel oil. This was Cindy the Skull. The lieutenant crouches.
Looks like it, yes. And blood.
Heavy fuel oil. Isn't that? The fuel oil catches fire immediately with a low hiss. A bright orange flash across the surface of the lieutenant has taken a small step back. He looks at your face illuminated by the flames and nods silently. The flames warmed him too. Not at all in a bad way.
Let's go to that island.
Slowly, the flames
Give me a moment.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers.
My man, you're alive. Man, what a day. I missed out on most of the action, but I heard it. So what's next? You guys heading back to Jamrock now? Talk is local union. Good luck with that, my man. Ain't easy being you.
The tear machines, your bottles clunk. Do you know what you should do with that money, kiddo? A lorry stuck, the windows up, fumes of heavy fuel oil. This found the smell of cigarette. There's something odd about clothes. Stares at you with respect, then gestures towards the trickles of blood adorning your clothes.
Yet you leave. It goes back to an older era of hiding, gathering themselves. The harbor's in full lockdown, friend. No getting eat. Time will tell. I'll tell Everard you dropped by. I'm sure he'll be glad.
Between you and me, this is why I don't get involved in local politics. In its purest form. Now, sure, let me have a look. I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment, and certainly not expensive armor that's liable to bring mercenaries to my doorstep. Anything else you're thinking of selling? Another time, perhaps.
The speakers below are banged up.
Wow! A cop limping down the street, bleeding from the shoulder, face bruised, looking like hell? Cool! That's cool!
The speakers below are banged up and worthless. The sneakers triumph over them.
Super cool! Now the premium lifestyle is yours, officer.
The sneakers seem to vibrate in your hands with an almost mystical energy.
The junk is yours, officer.
Hello, mister. Bye.
Welcome back. Ouch. I did notice your limp. When I was 16, I used to date this guy who had a limp, but it only showed when he was sober. So I guess it wasn't real or something. I don't know. Anyway.
Yo, man. What's on your mind?
Yes, what is it?
Humanism. Why? That does seem the mother of
Good morning! Yeah! Harder! Oh, hey, man. It's good to see you. Goodbye, officer.
Officer, what happened? You're limping. Why are you limping? You look Is this from the shooting in town? We heard gunshots. Not that we don't hear gunshots all the time, but they were closer than usual.
There was an exchange of fire on Rue de Saint-Guylaine. It's nothing to be worried.
You didn't only get shot.
Well, good for you. Of course. Can I help you with something? That won't be a problem. Its wind's still and the tar just dried. If you promise to bring it back, and no scraping the hull, I just got it nice and yellow, and no drinking on the boat.
Of course, ma'am. It's...
Aye.
The crow's feet disappear from the corners of her eyes as she smiles at you. Hasn't been there herself. Who has then?
My husband used to drink there. Him and his drinking buddies. The kids sometimes go there too. I know they do, on rafts. I tell them not to, but the twins. God forbid they bring the girl along on some rickety barge.
Can we maybe ask your twins about that place?
Be my guest. They've a strange way of talking. See if, well, most of it's sunken. Please be conservative with the fuel, will you?
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the other watches.
And that iron. That's, nothing. It's just a seafort and some plants. You can take a raft there. And we make a fire. We make a fire. Mm-hmm. Gather their lights. The fire guy comes and asks us to put the fire out.
Your nerve endings sting from the mention of a gut. They must mean a human being on that island, but it's cut off.
No. Yes.
Let's go with yes.
Because he asks to put the fire out. I don't know. He doesn't like it. He don't like people to be there. Yes. I don't know.
Did you mean there are electrical lights?
Yes. No, he doesn't live there. No, he lives there. He doesn't live there.
Anything else?
I don't know. We ran. He just yelled. We shouldn't. Our father killed him. Don't say that. He didn't. I don't know. Doesn't even have anything to do with this, you. There's
Lights, fire guy. We should check up on that island.
A skiff with a small steering. The boat's belly is a shiny yellow color, industrial paint over fresh tar. You see it reflect off the water, along with the factory number. Once you get in, that's it. One pull of the starter handle, and you're off. Have you made all the necessary preparation? Remember what the net picker said. It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this.
Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever. Eternally. Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever. Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever.
The boat comes to a slow stop. The lieutenant turns the engine. In the silence, a sputter of wings. A flock of quails takes off in a... There is very little wind here today. The ghost is standing still. You look at your arms, then the cliffs above you. Let's go. The chain trails off into the ocean.
Ah, yes, so it seems. For bringing munitions to the island, maybe? And supplies? You could also lock the bay when you raise the chain.
As a defensive measure, lock it off
from enemies. Enemies of the commune of Revachol. This sea fort was a revolutionary fortification.
Dry grass, the flock of quail departs. Now more than 100 meters on the islet. There is almost no wind, just snow quietly falling on the reeds. Bulrush, the great ghost of the air, is holding its... Air flows out of a pillbox window. There is very little there. The air cossets flowers on a meadow. Absolute silence. Reeds motionless. A flake of snow fall. A low hum. The faraway roar of the city, distant like today's dream. Snow falls on a silent hiss. See Col de Mamadakwa.
Yes?
Momentarily, the sounds are swept away.
It is. Is that why we are stopping?
The lieutenant nods. There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner, resting on piles of soft coverboard.
Someone has been squatting here.
A flash of pain interrupts you, making...
You know, officer, you can rest here. Yes, anytime.
You don't have... Books and magazines, most are soft covers. Among what is mostly commercial fiction and serialized stories, you find a magazine...
Someone's made themselves a home.
Soft covers, serialized. Soft covers. You see a small...
Another part of the island, probably. Maybe this is one of the doors we don't open? Alright, I retract my statement. It was naive.
An old cylinder. The lieutenant puts his hand on the metal...
It's cold now. But someone had downstairs, somewhere, liquid carbon. I would imagine the kind that's favored by vagrants and fuel thieves.
If anyone stayed here, the hollow ring, the canister is empty.
I don't know. I'm not a philosopher. Someone with basic electrical skills has restored it in order to keep the room warm.
The wind outside. Green paint flecks off the monoblock.
The console of an anti-computation device. Possibly. Urgence, ouvert, allumé. We need to restore power. We should look around outside. There are barrels all over.
The console looks on as you talk. There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab.
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to...
A single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, and an empty can of beans on the ground next to it. The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand, Tio Moteri.
The smoker is a clean person.
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window, quite old and grimy from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain. The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your trepidation. A tingling feeling in you. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you. A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside apartments, Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A and 33B. The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the whirling in rags, Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 10, the doomed commercial area. The box-shaped silhouette of the whirling in rags. You see a small fleck of white on the rooftop, the upstairs window of Clausia's room. In the...
Do you have a line of sight to the window?
More than that.
A pair of binoculars? Or a scope of a rifle? You'd be prone, lying on...
Cheek against a cheek rest, hand on the hair trigger, on a calm day like this.
Good. I think we have it, Detective. The origin of the shot.
Affirmative.
In our defense, nothing pointed here. Many leads pointed elsewhere.
He looks north, over the fortification.
Where?
He does not answer. Just...
We should move now.
A strange feeling looking at the water. Maybe with a bottle in your hand. Perhaps there's someone there. Under the in front of the video rental. On the corner. At the crossing. Smelling of tutti frutti and betrayal. In the snowing mirror of the bay. Islets and posts. There's a rain-soaked
B triple prime. This looks like a good place.
The springs, trepidation, a small piece of this old cylindrical. The lieutenant assists you. Hold. There's a red starter switch on the recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters.
That should do it.
A dim gold.
It's on. Turn emergency open.
The dial slide.
Insular. This is an off-air radio computer, I believe. Used for...
The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in.
After you. I don't know.
A thin wisp of smoke rises from a charred black fire pit.
So did I. Not back there. Don't worry. I have a gun. I know. An old man, wearing tracksuit trousers, leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours, unclouded by cataracts. His eyesight is sharp. He's practically tearing up from spite. Hatred got the best of him a long time ago. This man hates everything.
The what now? I can't hear you. I may have. All sorts of little rats have come sniffing around, trying to give up the position.
The position? Sounds like a hiding place.
Fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up. My eyesight? Yes. Helps me see all the shit. I did. And the boat engine. On the water. It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it's a 3-Angong 446.
A Samaran rifle. How did you get hold of one?
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Sinyao commune. Military aid.
It has stayed true to him. He can still make it sing.
You heard me. It's good now, like chalk wiped from the board. Yes, I bet you've killed a lot of people with it. You fascist fuck. Have you come to make me one of them?
His right eye twitches. With what?
We have come to ask you questions, nothing more. If you do not comply, we will take you in. Do you understand? No. Put it down now, sir.
Or you're gonna blow my brains out before you question me. It's out of bullets. My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my terminus.
The Commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? You're a holdover from the...
From the Insular Indian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in 07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orient, and consigned to emergency defense duties in 08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties. 43 years. No. I've been on other islands too. I was an resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was an E-48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed up. 43 years and 10 months. It's not how a human being should live, but I had to. I couldn't just forget. I couldn't just forget what I saw.
He just couldn't. He nods, but he can nap.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
Where the afternoon grows late, on Rue de Saint-Gislain, people walk home. Street lights will soon be lit. Further inland, the streets are alive with workers, men, women, children, street hawks and migrant laborers.
Always waiting. For her to return.
Her who?
Girl child. Revolution. I am not a fool. I know. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind. The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore. However hard I try, how does anyone survive?
Now hold on there.
Supplies, vegetables. I collect rainwater. It's the life of a dog, not a human being.
How is your health, Mr.
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stew.
He does seem frail. Gaunt for his age. More like 75 than 65.
The RCM can provide medical services.
I need to die.
We also have Druamine.
I have been running out of that stuff. There's nothing to look over.
He looks at you, his face parched from the sun and the wind. There's a wince of pain in there somewhere.
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol. You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
A spray of blood from his mouth on the black charcoal in the fire. Rene, the royalist on the coast, said,
Liberal reactionaries signed that instrument. Traitors who should have been burned alive.
Is that part of why you've been here all this time? Because the party didn't serve?
He just wipes the blood from his chin.
I don't think you did. You live in a delusion. There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce. I've used it for
killing people.
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I've used it.
Interesting. During?
There is no after the war. Class war.
So he's continued killing after hostilities ended. This is it. You can feel it. This is what you live for. This is the great serotonin jackpot. The solution. Going straight. No euphemisms. No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
The who now?
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it. You're in.
Oh yes, that one. Ugly piece of work, that boy.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
A drop of blood in the saliva. Exhaust him with proof. Pile it all on him. The scent of blood in the air. Something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies.
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession. You've been here a long time, Mr. Dross. Too long.
I'm ready to die.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascies. For fact, just one thing remains unclear. The rifle does not seem to have a scope.
Forget about your stupid fucking scope. I don't know where it is. Fine.
He lost it. He just doesn't know where it is. Forget it. Push on.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Anything.
You're lost, Dwat. You're lost. Petty boy.
A drop of blood in the saliva. Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof. There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. They're nowhere else. Nowhere in all of Martinez have you seen them this spring. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. You got it. Remember? Maybe don't beat yourself anymore, though. You're not immortal. Nothing else comes up. You see?
Officer. A word?
Almost where? Almost ready to bleed to death.
No, come on. A word. Let's... I think we may have this. From nothing to this in a day. This is good, Lieutenant Gefreiter. We just need a confession first, and then maybe a solid motive later. Yes, good going. That should be our first priority. Remember, he wants to tell us.
There is palpable excitement.
Minions of capital. What do you want? Petty.
A drop of blood in the saliva.
Everything is brands with you individualists.
Show me the souls, please, Mr.
Fucking imbecile.
The maker is Sensorique. The model is Cordobe, and the size is 43. These are not the unusual horizontal pattern souls you saw in the...
The size fits, but not the soul.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance, and not. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly. More. He's gonna crack. But
damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
He seems tender suddenly. Nostalgic even.
So many this year too. The spring is coming. No. It's already Clausia. With the victim.
There is a small tremble. Looks like a smile. A crooked smile. Yet isn't quite voluntary. Don't leave any loose ends. Get him.
Stupid Dwat.
The lieutenant looks at you with worry in his eyes.
Matter does not behave in such a way. Those are aberrant bourgeois musings. Magic Earl Creek. Your brain is rotting from the radiation.
He does not answer the provocation. Yeah, this just did nothing. But still, somehow you knew it was a communist. Perhaps you suspected it before you took the case. Was it supposed to? The inland sea is dark, vast, and on the surface.
Standing there, slack-jawed. You're lost, Dwat. You're lost.
His gaze follows your motions, still warm from his parched hands. Not the metal. The metal is ice cold.
I wonder how old it is.
The old man doesn't. The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyph on the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burned.
No one said it has to be Belmagrave. We were just guessing.
From ballistics, it could easily have been a triangle.
It doesn't matter if it was made in Shanti Shanti. The right type and the right calibre.
He's liking this. The old man keeps following your motion with some kind of involuntary response. Something. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It can be used against him later.
I ain't going. Minions of capital. What? Minions of capital. Minions of capital.
What strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain, or the cough, or the malnutrition. For a man who's spent 44 years hidden in the urban wild, indeed, he speaks fluidly. His movements are rapid, if erratic. His voice, despite the cough, is there. It is capable. It's a mystery. This animation comes at a cost too. Erratic hand gestures. Thought processes cut off like threads as he just stares at the logs or the reeds. He also suffers mood swings, bubbling to the surface, unconstrained by his nervous system. You've seen demented people before. This feels similar, yet different. Is this some kind of substance damage? Like he's addicted to something? Not only the painkillers he's clearly on.
No. I won't be stuffed full of shit like the rest of this city.
You said you take painkillers.
I take them to cope with pain. The people of this city use painkillers because they have pain. Untreated illnesses, not...
Are you sure about him being lucid? It's not a downer, rather an upper.
Like some kind of decadent rock star. No, I'm not okay. I shit blood, and I'm surrounded by insane...
There it is again. Erratic. Could it be a symptom of overdosing on something? Something even you have not tried?
Officer, are we sure? We could maybe get more. Josef Lilianovich Dras, you are under arrest for the murder of the Colonel Lely. You will be taken to the nearest precinct holding air...
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
This terror is the sum of all the uncontrollable movements and mood swings he's been exhibiting. The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around you. Little shivers of waves appear.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand?
But... No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead. Pupils are dilated too. Eyes getting blacker and...
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
There it is again. To your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. The reeds whisper, stalks rubbing against each other. But then, something completely different. It sounds like a bow, very slowly being drawn against the strings of a violin. A very...
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat. What?
What are you talking about? Is this...
Your skin crawls. A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds.
What are you talking about? There's nothing there.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head. You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand rise instinctively.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reed.
I can see it.
4 simple words. Thank God. If you can see. But that means it's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence. Its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful.
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from his head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It is no more than 5 steps away from you. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss. Like the hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch. Slowly, with your breath held, like laughter, a sort of happiness, sweat drips from your brow, soaking your chest. Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin.
Okay.
There is no change in the insect's motion while it's being...
In 3. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot.
The shrill flash of the camera cuts the air like the blade of a sword. The phasmid freezes in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant. Hypnotized, the sweat on your arms feels cold as ice, as if you're frozen as well. In this,
I got it.
The antennae hang from a great height. With your hand shaking, the sensation is electrifying, resounding through your body.
Be careful, detective. It's moving.
The limb before you is incredibly light, like eggshell. It's much lighter than a reed. You feel a soft push. Warning! A sudden shiver passes the limb. Looks like the creature is awakening. Some sort of countdown process is happening. That's another shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing where it left. The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe you. Below its crown of reeds, little pinprick eyes detect motion, glittering. The world stands. Suddenly, there is silence. As you do, the invertebrate comes to life, its limbs moving independent of each other, as if each shifting around in the reeds around it. In the muddy water, you notice some of its hind legs apparently standing on the water from time to time. No reply. A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with what appears to be some kind of foam. You were right. Little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the creature, on its segmented lower lip. The faintest smell, like you've never felt before. Like...
Careful. It may be poisonous.
The foam slowly turns a darker shade, like burnt caramel, as the insect moves its mouth parts, masticating. The little bubbles begin to burn, letting out that same smell, like summer burning.
I exist. Tell me what he's like for you. Yes, Lord of hosts, and all the earth is filled with his glory. Now, I will tell you what it's like for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images, a kind of darkness, being intruded upon, transient, dim, moist, shapes of plants and animals, and internal sensations, a swarm of sounds, tiny vibrations on the inside of my forearms, all speak of complexities totally beyond my understanding. I am at the end of a narrow funnel, weightless, so light, it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing. I certainly do not have a soul, and if I did, it would never ache. Are you sure? Sometimes, when molting, I will grow a lost limb. One time something went wrong, and a small leg replaced a missing antenna. No, the leg tried to move around independently, making it hard to walk. Yes, thankfully someone ate it. The next time I molded, I grew an antenna again. So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect? I can also detect pheromones. The ones on you tell me that you will not eat me, and that I will benefit from your closeness, in short. But no, you are awake. I am real. Light is forming me. This is real. Not even the birds know that. Not even a water lily. I think we should eat it. If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth. Or read. Yum yum.
Wait, so...
Yes, they don't mind. Yes, I once cloned myself and ate the little ones. It was winter, and I woke up at the wrong time. It was an accident. I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmodia, endemic to the Insulandian Insula. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight, masquerading as the reeds, molting, cloning myself, unfolding at night to play with trash bins and boys. I went unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain. Also, by the soldiers of the revolution and the officials of the occupation. Even the Samanese islanders who came here first. I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions until I was accidentally discovered by a detective. No, there is one more. Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you before you go. That woman, turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward. For freedom. You cannot lie to me. Behind you, it smells of fires. So awfully far you were prepared to go in her presence. She was hell on earth. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that.
As you're turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface. And just like that, it's gone. And something under it, in the place it stood, bobbing there, among the reeds.
It's gone. Looks like a nest of some sort. We should have... Apparently, yes. Like a water strider. Only... I've never seen anything like that.
What now?
In some kind of strange...
Our suspect is not looking so good.
This passport, issued by the Sovereign Republic of Iran.
Classia's hidden documents. From the MT boy.
It's Clasia, with short black hair and glasses.
Maybe our man, Mr. Dross, took it from Classia's, or whatever her name was. Hiding place, or... like a magpie? What a coincidence. She said it would be for Anouk Meyer-Smith.
I told you she kept lying to you. She's probably lying to someone else right now. In another city.
No, she lied to us. Her so-called real name was not her real name. I don't know. Perhaps it's better that we didn't arrest her.
The winds are silent.
What is it?
Something is very wrong with him now.
See?
Mr. Dross?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets, like an addict of some terrible substance. A light shiver passes him.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility.
The trembling mouth.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical, old age and shock. Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the...
There's much more. Quite a few things about that health check you did on him make sense now.
He was energetic and articulate. After all these years alone, it does not seem to be animated now it's left. Honestly, I'm ready to believe anything at this point. I mean, why not? It's 3 meters tall. That could be part of the shock.
No response.
Then how did we see it? Oh, you mean, whatever does this, does it over time? Mm-hmm. Mr. Dross. The doctors will have to look at this. I hope your station. He did seem distraught. I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope our...
He stares into the reeds. Your words, nothing. No reaction. This is an old man.
Did you take this passport and other...
There. A spirit.
He hears us.
No reply.
Try something else?
I lost...
He turns his eyes.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there. With the help of a map. This site is a T9.
Silence. You've gotten all you would. The plastic cape. The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal. The strength is all...
We should think about getting back to the mainland.
ICM? This feels familiar, Summer.
Insul Indian Citizens Militia. It's the official name of the...
Sounds an awful lot like.
It does. The RCM may descend from... It's impossible to say.
Nice political thoughts. A mediocre athlete would pant from dragging around his body on a busted crutch. But not.
No one remembers the ACM. The connotation is less important now. And
with its horns in the sky. The skiff is swept.
Let's. We are done here.
The skiff rocks gently under, but for the sound of conversation on the water. There you reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
Look what the tide brought him. Harry, you're bleeding all over the place. You're half dead.
Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant. This is the man with sunglasses from the Whirling in Rags. But where are his sunglasses?
That's right. And you're bleeding. Bothered by it. Harry, you look like you need a fucking organ. Oh, fuck it. Let's not get into that. We're not forgetting about anything.
Hello, I'm Trent Heilerstein. I believe we've met on several occasions.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean-Vic Quemar, and this is your special task force. Or what's left of it. Special Consultant Trent Heilerstein.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kisuragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the island. We are in...
The scene is making even him feel as though he has to justify your actions.
We might need your help with something later. But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi.
Letting the lieutenant know he...
Ari, we want to help you. Trent, I believe this is where you come in?
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get going.
No, Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid? The cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you went.
And people on the street helped us too, with your whereabouts.
You're a legend among the drunks, Harry. A legendary local drunk. Guilty as charged. I heard you'd lost your mind and your memory. I wanted to see if it was true. And it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. There's one less person for me and everyone else to rely on.
He was too sarcastic for you to realize who he was.
I didn't lie to you. No one lies to you. You were so fucked up on booze you couldn't recognize your own partner.
Yes, I'm Trent Heilerstein. I never said I wasn't Trent Heilerstein. What indeed? I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s. Like partial psychotraumatic amnesia, groupus...
He's here to see if you're insane. He is smart. Let's move on. Duped? Hey, here's a brilliant idea. Don't be a morbid drunk and you won't be duped so easily. No. Everyone's just a brilliant master of disguises. Yeah, Major Crimes Unit. Under Lieutenant Dubois, he doesn't remember.
See? He really doesn't remember. It wasn't a sick joke. At least that's good.
Yeah, that's very good. Where have we been? We've been fucking off as far as I remember. You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck everything. All we burn, detect or die. Sure, you're not a superstar law official. Talk on the town is your Guillaume le Million. The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trant, this is where you come in. How bad?
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors, he talks without slurring, he can drive a boat, he's standing, reasoning. All good signs, but complete retrograde amnesia.
Meaning, you forgot both who you are and the definitions of money, Isola, hell.
As displayed in your interactions with him here and previously at the bar, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was.
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically?
He is. He's getting better. And I can confirm that he drank a lot of alcohol.
I believe he drank. People do that, especially this one. What they don't do is forget their whole life because of...
But Detective Vigmer, he has blanked out before. Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. One was after the two drunks case. The other when we looked into that mirror.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea, yes.
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained, approached as a defect? Look at the sensory input here. Look at the ruins, the neon. Listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape, to borrow a known metaphor. Harry's been pushed flat against it. Total input. Hardwired to the free market. He just needed for it to end.
Okay, Trent, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in the major crimes unit? Is he a cretin now? I want to know that.
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective.
Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here. No, now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry? Ah, so refreshing. He just admits it. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for destroying 45,000 real of police property that's coming out of everyone's payslip. It doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth... Not today, badge.
And your gun?
As if having your badge and gun are natural states, not achievements.
He has it. And he didn't drop it. You're drunk like a bum, Harry. Put that thing away before you kill someone. So you forgot to drink? I don't buy it. Why do you smell like a corpse then?
He's wounded. It's been a long week and he's handled an actual corpse.
The man doesn't reply. But is it you should have done a better job, is what it's saying.
I don't believe you. You're drunk. You let a suspect escape, a certain classier, because you were too drunk to assess of...
We've read the reports, Harry. Lieutenant Kitsuragis. We know.
Oh, well, if you let her go. I'm not even gonna get into the other suspect or the fact that you're Everclear's little peony now, doing I don't know what for him. That's small-time stuff. That's nothing compared to the 7 people who were gunned down. The streets are literally red with blood, Harry.
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired and vetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals. He did so at considerable risk to his person. Remember, he was shot. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been. Detective, it's better if I do that.
It's so much better if he does this.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation. You've spent the week with him, on this case. On Lieutenant Geoffrey Dubois.
Well, the drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge. That's all true. Although he has not been drinking on the job this week.
See?
1 week.
Then there's the superstardom. He likes to, from time to time, allude to being a superstar law official. At first I thought it was a joke, but now I'm not so sure. He says disco about 20 times a day. It's odd, especially in light of his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a hustler. He grinds. He makes the real. He's a visionary and a money engineer, which is just... And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, something I was not present for. But despite all this, he is a great detective, one of the best I've seen, in fact. He can talk human beings into telling him everything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped pursuing leads, however far-fetched and tangential. He is tireless, madly driven. Well, except that one time when he stopped to sing karaoke, which by the way was a valiant effort. He really sang.
Yeah, it was what it was.
Other than that one time, he has tirelessly worked on the case, and he solved it. We have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator, locked on the island right now, awaiting transport. He apprehended a straggler who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years. Oh, and he also...
A new species?
A colossal stick insect. It was on the island, camouflaged as the reeds. It unfolded from the reeds. I think we may be dealing with the Insulindian phasmid.
He takes out the photo and shows it to the officers across the yard. Thick white snow falls all around you. You hear gasps beneath the howling of the wind.
As you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, we think it may be the largest land invertebrate ever discovered.
Fucking hell is that? Is this somehow connected to the case?
Detective? The old man was not aware of the phasmid's presence. Exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia, he fell into a stupor after its appearance.
So it is connected.
I must say, this is absolutely extraordinary. I don't even have words for it.
Yes, it really does make it hard to fire the drunk.
This is a very, very sad man who has just seen something that's made him forget his sadness. Now you make your case. Now is the time. Now or never.
What was that? It sounded like you set up a nightclub in the church.
Four kids were living in a tent on the ice. They were going to drown when it melted. It's not optimal, but the building was abandoned, so he put them in there.
It's not that okay. Get off this subject now.
Female?
You had to see it. It had the subdued colors of a female, and the nesting behavior.
Incredible. Were there eggs in it?
Not as far as I could see. There were other things there, though.
Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests are called bowers. They are for attracting mates.
Must be robust if it can move a helmet with its limbs.
Yes, but also reed-colored, beige and brown, a little green on the outside. After unfolding from a single stalk, it still retained parts that looked like reed tufts on it.
Incredible. The PR value of this is exceptional. Carp discovers new species. Maybe even...
This would really help with some of the problems.
Absolutely, this is great. This does not say vigilante murderers to me at all. This says science, news, human interest. You know, it's
Without it,
You're doing good here. Perhaps only for a moment, but still.
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym. The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. Krasovich, Lasovich, etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism, so they used this man's mother was Lilian. His Lilian's son, Lilianovich. The custom was overturned after the revolution failed.
So, it is what a soldier of the ICM would be called.
thank you, Trant. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory. You said you have a motive?
Of course, excuse me, I just thought it was noteworthy.
And it worked? He got a war going?
Yes, until we stopped it. He saw the mercenary as an ennemi combatant. There's plenty for prosecution to pick from, as far as motive is concerned. Also, we have ballistics from the gun, matching the bullet found in the dead mercenary's head, and 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to.
It's a clean win.
It's way more than that.
I've never doubted you can pull yourself together and work. In bouts. Bouts don't last. I can still smell the booze on the wind.
God damn it. Doesn't it ever leave? It is there. Like in your bones or something. It will pass. In time.
How? It seems to be ongoing. I see a red banner.
He didn't quite solve it. He cross-pollinated information between the company rep and Evrard, until the rep came to see that the Union desires war, at which point Mrs. Messier decided to...
What? Hand clear the terminal? Sounds like you got played, Harry, because you were off your tits on Al Ghul. Maybe, certainly, you're Everclear's peony now, just as I said. He's a mob boss, did you know?
It's not quite like that. The move allowed us to stabilize things here. It was not bad for Martinez, and we don't owe anyone any...
Okay.
Silence. Good. The man doesn't know what to say.
Yes. Fallen through a gap in a boardwalk. Drunk.
The body was transported to Precinct 41, our morgue. I had Tilbrook and Mullins take care of funeral arrangements.
You're not the only cop in the world, Harry. This...
Still, good work with the missing person, Detective.
I don't know what a doomed commercial area is. Why? That's not what you were supposed to do.
There was a possible witness in there, and it was close to the crime scene. He was just chasing a lead and ended up advising a local shopkeeper.
Of course. Call it
Dodged the bullet there. For a moment it seemed like you were just wasting time.
I don't want to, but you discovered a new species. And so I have to.
Anything that ends the trial is okay with me.
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too...
Okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody.
Now, Now you will find the man looks westward, jingling his car keys in his pocket.
Who is Lena?
Tabernacle? It's on the way over. Near where you live on Perdition.
Fine. If we're gonna drop you...
She and her husband were conducting the search for the Phasimid. They should know as soon as possible. It would do you good to deliver some positive news for a change.
She is going to be over the moon. Watch out, or she'll faint.
Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol. I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM.
Distant traffic. A scrap of newspaper drifts by, carried by the wind. It says, tensions rise in Terminal YC in light of the Debardeurs strike.
Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of two captains with my doom-mongering. Work with Price? I'm flattered, but I don't know if...
This truly came as a surprise to him. Not a bad one.
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even considered.
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the harbor.
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to. Mountains.
I do like the sound of that.
He's really considering it.
Good.
Fuck it, let's go. Trump brought his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute drive to Jam.
Under the afternoon sky, the great district hums. A chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls, and chimney stacks. Fire traps as far as the eye can see. You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. On Rue de Saint-Jérôme, a square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. In Old South... Torsen? Yes. McLean? Yes. Really? Nix Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's quite unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go...